Chapter 1. Epimetheus sprinted through the forest, hunting down every animal known to mankind. Well, not actually technically known to mankind just yet, because at that moment, his brother Prometheus was making mankind. You see, a short while ago, there was a war between the gods and the Titans, and the two Titans, Prometheus and Epimetheus, decided to stay out. They were rewarded for their neutrality with responsibilities. Now, Prometheus, the responsible older brother, was tasked with making mankind, and he loved it. Epimetheus was tasked with giving every single animal a gift or special attribute, and he hated it. So by the time he had rounded up every animal in the world, he was tired. And honestly, he looked at his bag of gifts and all the animals, and he said, I could just give these out randomly, right? I mean, the gods don't really have plans for these, and if they did, how was I supposed to know what the plans were? I don't think this is a problem. I mean, honestly, what's the worst that could happen? So he did. He gave out all the animals different gifts. He gave cats stealth, cunning, and razor-sharp claws, even though they're only this big. He gave spiders the ability to make beautiful tapestries made of poop. Even though they're the most disgusting things that have ever lived. And don't get me started on the platypus. It's got a duck bill, a beaver tail, and venomous claws. Venomous claws, people. I'm just positive he was just shoving every last thing from the bag into the platypus to get it out of the way. And that has caused some detriments. Like, look at the snake. The centipede got 100 legs. The snake got 0. That's just how that works. So he goes back to his brother and said, Prometheus, I have finished my task. How goes yours? And Prometheus said, I'm almost done. What have you left for the humans? And Epimetheus said, shit, nothing. Nothing, actually. Prometheus got very, very angry and looked very, very stern and said, I will fix your mistakes this time, but next time you're on your own. But now we're going to go to the top of Mount Olympus to get fire so that the humans have something. Chapter 2, Stealing Fire. Prometheus snuck up Mount Olympus, creeping around, hunting and looking for any god that might be staring at him. He creeps slowly to the fire, gets closer and closer, and snatches just a little bit and runs down the mountain. Now, at this point in time, Epimetheus had been told to hide in a bush and keep quiet. But unfortunately, the whole walk up the mountain had really hurt his feet, so he had taken off his shoes at this point. And at that moment, Prometheus comes barreling down the hill, and Epimetheus has to scramble to his feet and run as well. But he left his shoes on top of the mountain, and he gets to the bottom, and he just thinks, honestly, like, they're just like sandals. No one's gonna recognize them as mine. Honestly, what's the worst that could happen? I don't have to go back up that mountain. Right? Unfortunately, the gods did notice whose shoe was left behind, and the two brothers were punished. Prometheus was chained to a rock in Tartarus as an eagle ate out his innards every day, and they grew back every day. And unfortunately, Epimetheus got a worse punishment in the eyes of the ancient Greeks. He got a wife. Which really goes to show you how much the ancient Greeks appreciated women. Chapter 3, Pandora's box. Forged by Hephaestus out of steel and diamonds, given beauty by Aphrodite and wisdom by Athena, and a terrible, terrible curse by Zeus himself. She was given a box. Well, in the original myth, it was a vase, which is a Gynic symbol, which means that Pandora's box was supposed to represent her box. It's true. And she was told to never, ever, ever open it, or bad things would happen. But she got curious. She met her husband, and she looked at him with such love and said, I don't know what to do about this box. And he looks down and he thinks about it, and he looks up and he says, I mean, we could just open it. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? So they do. And out of the box flies every terrible, bad thing that has ever happened, which, once again, shows you how highly the ancient Greeks appreciated women and children. Out of the box flew every terrible thing that has ever happened to mankind. And Pandora is distraught. She looks at her husband and just says, what do we do? We've ruined everything. And Epimetheus looks down, and he thinks, and he looks at his wife, and says, well, we could open the box again. And so they do, and out of the box flies hope. Now, I'm a little bit like Epimetheus. Now, I haven't unleashed every evil into the world, but I've unleashed a few. And so have you, and so have you, and so have you. We're all a little like Epimetheus. We just have to remember that there's always hope, even if you ruin everything.